Hello, CEP 200 students, and welcome to Unit 3 of the course. First and foremost, I want to apologize for the unit video being late and the unit materials being released a little late. I know that I had sent out an announcement and an email about some unexpected events over on this end, so I really appreciate your patience and your understanding. So I'm just playing catch up, just trying to get back to everyone's emails and finish up grading for the Unit 1 assignment. So I think I did myself a favor by chipping away at the grading throughout the week, just because the only thing that was left to grade was some unit assignments. So having graded everything else earlier on, you guys should have received your grades for those already. So I'm not too far behind, but I will be responding to emails tonight and also taking a look at some of the unit assignments. So I'll be chipping away at those a little bit. So if you have any questions about that, let me know, but if you can just hold tight for me, that would be fantastic. This isn't a regular occurrence, so I do apologize, and it is not something that typically is made a habit throughout the semester. So again, thank you everyone for your patience, and we will be back on track soon. So for Unit 3, let's get into this. So we have quite a few things due this unit, and one of the things that I want to do really quick is just open up the quiz, because I will be providing you guys with answers to 2 quiz questions that typically students have a difficult time with, as always. So let's take a look here. That is not what I wanted. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog coughing in the background. Okay, so for Unit 3, we are going to be talking about counseling in the vocations. So there is something that I think is really, really important to distinguish about this unit. So the 2 counseling careers that we are going to be learning about are rehabilitation counselors and career counselors. So when we're talking vocations, we are talking about the workforce, so jobs and all that good stuff. So with rehabilitation counselors, as you're going to read and you're going to find out in this unit, rehabilitation counselors are not medical professionals. I cannot tell you how many students will complete their cumulative assignment at the end of the semester and talk about rehabilitation counselors essentially being PTs, like physical therapists. Not at all what they do. So rehabilitation counselors, as you're going to find through a video that you're going to watch, as well as the reading that you're going to do, rehabilitation counselors primarily, they do actually have a very large scope. So they can be in addictions, they can be in mental health, they can do a lot of things. But if we're talking about rehabilitation counselors in a vocational aspect, they generally would work for like Access VR. And what they would do there is they would work with people who at one point had a career and got injured on the job, or something happened to where they're not able to work in that capacity any longer. They would work with these individuals and help them find a career that they could do. So as an alternative, because they can't work in this other career anymore because of an injury or a disability or something like that, they help them explore other careers that maybe match their interests to kind of find a new career path. That is the role of a rehabilitation counselor primarily. Like I said, there's a big scope, but none of those things are in the medical field. Career counselors are also very similar. They really help people hone in on what their career interests are, what they're qualified for, and help them do what they need to do to gain a position in the workforce. So that one's pretty straightforward. Please keep that in mind. I don't want to go through unit assignments and see people saying that rehabilitation counselors are people who work in PT. And you are going to find that this is going to get a bit repetitive, because I'm pretty sure one of your journal topics is to go and talk to me about what rehabilitation counselors do, but I think that's next unit, so you don't have to worry about that this unit. So I'm sorry that it gets repetitious, but like I said at the beginning of the semester, the repetition in this course is actually done on purpose to really like instill the information in your head. So as far as assignments do in Unit 3, we have, watching this video, you're going to read Halkowski chapters 4 and 11. You're going to watch a short video titled The Art of Rehabilitation Counseling. You are going to watch a TED Talk by Eleanor Logden. This is a video about schizophrenia and her experience with it and her experience in the field dealing with medical professionals with it. You're going to read 2 supplemental articles, complete Unit 3 assignment, journal reflection number 2, quiz number 2, and then topic of advocacy paper in the discussion board. So your journal entry actually might be the rehabilitation counselors in this one. I'll let you know in 1 second. So as far as the quiz goes, let's take a look here. So I have one. I am just taking a look at the second. Okay. So first and foremost, the question is, which organization oversees rehabilitation counseling programs in regards to standards and accreditation? So the word accreditation often confuses people. So what it means to be accredited. When you are in a graduate program, so for example, UB does offer a rehabilitation counselor program as well as a LMHC, a licensed mental health counseling program. Those 2 programs are accredited by the overseeing entity to make sure that they have all of the coursework, all of the internships, and basically everything that is needed by their standards to prepare you to function in the role of that position. Also, there are exams for both of those licensing or both of those programs or those counseling jobs. So the overseeing accrediting entity makes sure that the appropriate coursework and internship hours are completed in order for you to actually sit for that exam. So UB is CARCREP accredited in those programs. So the answer to this is CARCREP. So CACREP, this is the accrediting organization. So if you have any questions about that, just let me know, but that should explain it for you. So the next question is, rehabilitation counselors also serve and assist. Oh, wait, no, that's not the one I wanted. Sorry. The next one is, it is believed that rehabilitation counseling will suffer in the future if they serve a single identified population. The answer to this is true. So this is why the scope that I was talking about for rehabilitation counselors is so broad. So they can work in a multitude of, positions. So the difference between a licensed mental health counselor and a rehabilitation counselor in the grand scheme of things, like say for example, you have like a rehabilitation counselor that works in like a mental health field. In New York State and in many other states, you have to be able to bill for services with your state. So in New York State, you can only bill for those services if you're licensed. So if you're working in a mental health capacity, rehabilitation counselors, if you're trying to serve in like a mental health role in like an outpatient clinic or something, or like some type of position that requires billing, because not all do. If you're trying to serve in the position of like a mental health clinician and you're unable to bill for services, chances are you probably won't be able to gain a position like that, because you have to be licensed in order to bill for services with the state. So with mental health counselors, they take a licensing exam. So they get licensed to be able to provide services and they can bill for services. In rehabilitation counseling, the exam to become a certified rehabilitation counselor is a nationwide exam, which means that as a rehabilitation counselor, you can move to any state and practice as a rehabilitation counselor. So the exam is recognized as the same in every state. Licensed mental health counseling, the exam, as I mentioned in the last unit video, differs by each state. So New York State recognizes the NCMHCE exam. Other states may have a different exam or an alternative that they recognize. So I hope that that makes sense. So rehabilitation counselors cannot bill for those types of services in New York State, but licensed mental health counselors can because they're licensed. Now, that's not to say that someone who's a CRC can't gain a different position in the mental health field or something like that. Like, there are positions that CRCs can have in the mental health field as long as they are not like billing Medicaid or billing insurance companies for those services. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about distinguishing that, like, please let me know. If maybe you're like weighing the options between both of those counseling professions, as far as what you'd like to do, reach out to me, let me know. I am a licensed mental health counselor as well as a certified rehabilitation counselor. So I'm very familiar with both of those programs, as well as how to prepare for the exams and the differences and all that kind of stuff. So moving on from that, journal prompts. So I'm going to talk about the advocacy paper in just a second, but for Journal 2, what you're going to reflect on is advocacy. So the prompt is, as we are considering our topic for our advocacy paper, let's be sure that we know what is meant by advocacy and what it looks like. When you hear the term advocacy, what comes to mind and how can you advocate for others? The reason why I make this a journal topic is because I have had students get to the end of the semester and submit their advocacy paper with a completely different idea of what advocacy is. So do some research on your own. Tell me what you think is meant by the term advocacy. So that is journal number 2. So far, we've got a submit unit 3 assignment. We went over journal reflection number 2, and we went over quiz number 2. So last but not least, the topic of advocacy paper due in the discussion board. So there is a section in the discussion board for you already that, has the journal topics, like, the thread open for you to post your journal topic. Do not worry about commenting on each other's posts. That is not required for this particular area of the discussion board. So what I mean by topic of your advocacy paper. So I know I went through this a little bit in the welcome video, and I'm going to reapproach it again. When we're thinking about the advocacy paper, we want to think about a vulnerable population that you would really enjoy writing this paper on. What I mean by vulnerable population. So this is a population that may be underserved or does not have enough attention or funding to it, or for it rather, that you would like to advocate for. So for example, this could be homeless veterans. This could be homeless individuals, period. This could be individuals with a chemical dependency. This could be minorities in the community. So you can certainly write about Black Lives Matter or something of that nature. Really anything. Like, I've had people write it about, I think I had a paper last semester that spoke to Simone Biles and mental health within the athletic community or professional athletes. So as long as you can tie it back to being a population that doesn't have enough attention or enough funding or are underserved and they really need more resources and more people to bring attention to it, that's what you want to think about. So all I need for you to do is just post the topic in the discussion board. It doesn't have to be like a long post. You can literally just put the topic. I will go through and grade all of them and make sure that they are appropriate. So if you just get a score, I think it's out of 25 points, this element of the paper. If you get a 25 out of 25, perfect. Don't worry about it. I probably won't put any feedback in the box, or maybe I'll put like approved or something. But pay attention to this, because for those topics that I need you to narrow down or that maybe aren't appropriate and I can't see the tie to the class, I will give you feedback in the box. So just make sure you're paying attention to that. And then Sorry about my dog. Unit 4, we'll talk a little bit more about what the advocacy paper is going to look like. So if you want to get a head start and jump ahead a little bit, there is information in the syllabus and there is some information in the folder within UB Learns. So I think that is it. So Unit 3, we started 9/27 yesterday. So you have until October 10th at 11:59 p.m. to get this stuff into me. So as always, if you have any questions, any concerns, anything of that nature, just let me know. And again, thank you guys for your patience with everything. This hopefully should not happen again. So I will talk to you guys soon. Let me know if you need anything.